Hi everyone. Rach, you just off screen. Do you think something's changed since last stream? I might have
Yeah,
zoomed it in actually.
I can
Let me
see your
zoom
shirt.
let me zoom back out a bit. It was on 117. There we go. I've been filming the top 10. So I also need to do, let me come out. I need to make us a bit louder, which is that one. And make us a bit less red. Should be that one. Hi everyone. Hey James, how's it going? We are going to be playing today Until Proven Guilty, which seems very much to be Phoenix Wright, the card game, board game, which I love Phoenix Wright. Rich played a bit of Phoenix Wright. You've played about 2 cases, haven't you, Rach?
Yeah,
If you enjoyed Phoenix Wright,
it's alright.
we must play more. Which there's like, if you buy advertising for a completely different thing, but you can buy the Phoenix Wright collection on Steam and you get like, I think there's at least, is there like 5 Phoenix Wright games in it or something? There's at least 3. There's loads, and each of those has got loads of cases. It's amazing. It's funny. It's logical sometimes, but we are going to be playing Until Proven Guilty and see how we get on. So you do need. It says an app for this. It's a web app. You need a website. Pop that in the middle for when we need it. So I've got it open, and basically that's what we've been told so far, isn't it? That like open the app, don't open any envelopes or anything yet, and probably just have a load of story time with Rach, really. So I guess we need Story Sky Necklace, new game, and this is just gonna like get our results. Do we need to just flip the first card then? And this is where we go when we've got answers.
Yeah. So you
To reveal the first card.
reveal a card, make it sure it's the same number as the trial card shown on the web app. Accusation card number 1. Well, we haven't read the story yet, have we? Is there a little starting story or no? Not really.
I think this is the start of our trial.
And then we choose any evidence that we think will support our case, and then the app will tell us what to do.
Go on then, Rach. Get us going.
Am I doing both people?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mr. Mustakas. Today's process was quite complicated, but you managed to surprise everyone once again. Thank you, Peter, but it was your idea to question the warehouse keeper. Who knows? It might be time to assign you a case. I have to admit that your help today was really valuable. Anything else in the agenda? No, we're done for the day. We don't have any more hearings. Go home. I'll settle the paperwork. And as for my first case, I'm ready, Mr. Mustakas, I assure you. Read the next card and open envelope A.
And open envelope A.
Whoa, should we do envelope A first?
Here comes envelope A.
I think Peter looks like you when you've got your glasses on.
Insulting.
Is it?
So here is a load of characters and documents and things.
Trial 1. There is such a mess in this bag. Besides today's case documents, for some reason, we also brought along the documents for a murder case yet to be dealt with. The accused name is... Hi, I am Haruni Sampath. I am looking for Mr. Mustakas. Good evening. I was just thinking about your case. Strange though, I remember that we were supposed to deal with it soon, but flipping through the schedule I can't seem to find any trace of it. Could it be that something is hiding it from my sight? Oh man, here it is. The Haruni Sampath murder trial. It starts in 5 minutes. No way Mr. Mustakas gets back in time. I read something about it, I think. Counsellor, what's going on? Is there a problem? No, ma'am, no problem at all. Mustakas entrusted the case to me after a thorough explanation. Today I will take care of your case. Come, let's enter the courtroom. Please have a seat here. Perfect. Now, I just need to review some details of the case. Allow me a few moments to concentrate. Discard evidence 28 and 31 and open envelope B. So maybe we should have gone through the...
Well, I don't think you can really see anything on them. I don't know if we were ever supposed to have them. It's Mr. Mustakis' agenda and a donuts receipt.
Oh, how much do the donuts cost?
$3.25 for a green donut. So we've got in envelope 1, Nick Mustakis' character, your boss, a successful defense attorney. On these is just like the envelope they came out of on the other side. We've got Peter Howard, you, an assistant at the Mustakis law firm, obsessed with detective stories. Haruni Sampath, archaeologist, arrived in the USA on August 16th as a representative of the most important museum in Sri Lanka, charged with murder. Charges against murder of Gregory Starr. Found with her hands covered in Starr's blood, she was locked in the house and promptly arrested upon the arrival of the police. She was searched. Nothing was found on her of relevance to the case. Our notes. The best detectives know that there is always a more recent will somewhere. The kind butler always hides something. Never forget to check the wines for presence of poisons. If someone has an identical twin, rest assured that there has been a switch at some point. Often the solution to the crime lies in our pockets, and diamonds, when examined, often turn out to be worthless copies. So that's all of our stuff so far. Right, Jack? Yeah, it's Guess Who, but like what they do in a courtroom. It's courtroom Guess Who. Rachel's medalist for her birthday. It's her birthday today.
It is my birthday.
Rachel's 40...
I'm not 40.
20...
34. 34.
So are we allowed to... I assume we're allowed to go through all of this stuff when we found it.
I would imagine we can open the evidence and then have a little look at them, and then they're all still there even when you've used them for another trial card, unless you're told to get rid. When you're told to open an envelope, take it, open it, and take out the contents. Read the newly drawn evidence cards and put them visible to everyone.
Follow the story through to the final trial card and count the number of jurors. We've got to go all the way through all of the cases.
It's one big case, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. It's
We're
one
not doing
thing.
the whole thing.
No, it's one thing.
Oh, it's one like whole case. I thought it was multiple cases.
It's one thing.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, everyone.
So we just keep going through the...
Do we open envelope B?
This is envelope B.
Yeah.
So we've got Gregory Starr, the victim, entrepreneur and contributor for the archaeological section at Art Life. Last will and testament. Gregory Starr's considerable fortune will be divided into 3 portions. The first will go to charity, and the rest will be evenly split between his grandchildren, Robert and Ringo. Insurance document. Mr. Starr has taken out an insurance policy for his Starry Sky necklace. In the event of theft, he will receive millions in reimbursement. Examination of Haruni's car. Car rented on the 16th of August. Say what date it is today. That's when she arrived in the USA. It was parked in the driveway, contained a suitcase, a return flight ticket to Colombo, Sri Lanka, and a box containing an ancient necklace adorned with sapphires. An expert identified it as a Starry Sky necklace. Certificate of authenticity for the necklace. It is authentic, but its restoration was once again disrespectful. Gregory should have learned something from last time. Last time.
Interesting.
The Starry Sky necklace, commissioned in the second half of the 9th century by a king of the Lambakana dynasty, made of gold, painted with enamel, and adorned with sapphires. The history of the necklace. Isn't it beautiful? The painting depicts the 3 daughters of the ancient king of the Lambakana dynasty, who he loved above all else. It is from here that my dream of completing the entire collection of their jewellery was born. Prosecutor Norman Disdain. One of the old guard. He's a tough guy. He's not going to make it easy for you. So he's building up our clues and characters and stuff. As we keep going through the cards, right, until it asks us to do something. Do you think?
Yeah.
These are just the numbers on the cards, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I thought so. Like at some point, you might, if you like this and you think you'd like to get it for yourselves, you might want to stop watching at some point, because I thought there were several things in this for some reason, and that you would play through, like Phoenix, right? That there's an overarching story, but we do little bits. But no, this is the one thing now. Good job we didn't try it before now.
I know.
Go on then, Rach. Back to you.
I declare the hearing open. Counsel, are you ready? Of course, I was just finishing reading some documents. If the prosecutor is kind enough to grant me another 5 minutes, Obviously not. Members of the court, I don't want to waste your time when the case is so clear. The murder was committed by Mrs. Sampath. I rely on this simple, incontrovertible fact. No one else had any interest in killing poor Gregory Starr. Damn it! I'll retrieve the remaining documents as soon as I have a moment. Right now, I need to find something to counter-argue. So I don't think we're allowed to flip it, are we? When does it say, like...
I think it will tell us
Okay.
at some point, like go
Present some
into
evidence.
the app and find things, right? Maybe it's like in one of the envelopes. There'll be like accusation card number 1, like when we open envelope C or something. Because it's not told us to do anything yet, has it?
Okay.
So I guess we keep going until it tells us not to.
Well,
He's just thinking. He's just thinking to himself, I've got to find something to counter argue.
Okay. What?
Go then.
The best mystery writers have taught us the murder of an elderly entrepreneur can only have the motive of inheritance. Gregory Starr owned a considerable fortune and... Excuse me, counsellor, but I must interrupt your prattling. Yes, there was a will. However, the 2 individuals you mentioned have been living outside the United States for years, attending prestigious European universities. We are well aware that the person who committed the murder was actually a dinner guest at Mr. Starr's house that evening. Besides the servants and Mrs. Sampath, Mrs. Esther Port and Mr. Randy Macmillan were also at Mr. Starr's for dinner that evening. Among all of them, however, only Mrs. Sampath had a motive. Her desire was to take Gregory Starr's Starry Sky necklace back to her homeland at any cost, but despite a generous offer, she couldn't convince him to sell it. So Mrs. Sampath had to resort to murder to steal the necklace, which was later found in her car. It can't have happened like that. I'll prove it. Prosecutor Disdain, you accuse Mrs. Sampath of killing Mr. Gregory Starr to rob him of his Starry Sky necklace. Indeed, that's the case. But you've told us that the necklace was found in Sampath's car. How is that possible? We know that after the murder, Mrs. Sampath was locked in the house. She couldn't have taken the necklace to her car. Counsellor, I'm about to give you an important lesson about our profession. Listen to me carefully. Members of the court, in a tribunal, the only thing that really matters is evidence. We have a signed document from the police confirming that the Starry Sky necklace was found in Mrs. Sampath's car. If you believe that this does not imply your client's guilt, it is up to you to provide an alternative explanation. Okay, calm down. We've established that it's not possible for Mrs. Sampath to have left the house and taken the necklace to her car. However, the police report says that a necklace was there. There has to be an explanation.
Hey Mike, hey Derek, how's it going?
When is it going to tell us to open another thing?
On the back of this envelope, spoilers.
Okay.
Not just story time with Rach, birthday story time with Rach. So she's doing several characters for us.
The only explanation is this, that there are 3 Starry Sky necklaces. In fact, as seen as in the painting, each of the king's daughters is wearing one. We all know that the ancient king had 3 identical necklaces made. Sampath bought the first one from Mrs. Port last year and the second one from Macmillan a few days before the murder. Mr. Disdain, so you must know that the necklace was found in the car was Macmillan's, and Sampath was just taking it back home. I am very well prepared, contrary to what you seem to be, sir, but don't worry, we will conclude the trial quickly. But we're discarding evidence that we haven't used.
This feels very strange.
I don't think we're playing this right. I think we have to choose the evidence and we type it in there, and then when it's red, look. Yeah, that is card number 1.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we're playing this completely wrong. Let's go back. I did think it's weird that we haven't been asked a question yet.
I did say.
So what does it mean then?
When you see him do a red light, so you at the bottom of the card.
Okay, I didn't hear the red line
At the
bit.
bottom of the card, before you flip it over, one player takes the trial deck and reads the current card, making sure that the same number as the trial card is shown
Yeah.
on the app. Don't reveal the back of the card. As a group, we choose an evidence card that they think will best counter the current trial card. So, like, oh, how do you know that other
Okay.
people are going to have a problem with him or have got motive? Oh, well, the last will and testament says he's got 2 grandchildren, so they probably killed him. So then you type in the app, oh, evidence 4. Focus on the highlighted sentence, and that's what you're trying to prove.
Okay, so but what were we trying to prove? Oh,
That
something
that
is hiding from my sight in number 1.
Something. Yeah, probably you're supposed to put his agenda in.
Right then, let me give it a go. Oh, it's that the donut receipt is in the way. Oh.
Oh, probably one of these, isn't it? This was in the first charges against Haruni Sampath.
However, we're supposed to deal with your case, but I can't find any trace of it. Oh, so are they the traces? Like the... We're supposed to ask him?
Put in her.
Oh, I think it's his notes are in the way. So, like, on the thing at the beginning, we can't see her... We can't see her appointment because his notes are in the way, I think is what it's going to tell us. If we get back to to put this on. So his notes would be 26. So if we get those out of the way. Oh, Mr. Mustakas won't take this well. Flip one juror on their innocent side. We're not even in the trial yet. So this is like your lives or something. Flip the trial card and read the back. Okay. So then for 2, we were supposed to say that no one else had any interest in killing poor Gregory Starr.
Well, hang on a minute. The will has got 2 grandchildren.
Yep. There we go.
I mean...
Got jury RH.
Rewind all that time to when it was like, I think we need to choose an evidence.
And that didn't say get rid of that. 3, she had to resort to murder to steal the necklace which was found in her car. And then we say that she was locked. We say that she was locked inside.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't have gone to the car because she was locked inside, yeah. It didn't say get rid of that, did it?
Keep the evidence until it says go away.
I'm catching up now. So for the one that we're on now, it's saying, if you believe... We have a signed document that says the Starry Sky necklace was found in her car. If you believe this does not imply her guilt, we need an alternative explanation. So...
I'm trying to get the evidence up on the... What about this thing that says that it's the 3rd time? You should have learnt from last time.
Oh yeah, it's been restored last time.
Oh, I don't know. As if it's a fake or something. It says certificate of authenticity for the 3rd necklace. Don't know. Well, all 3 of these are wearing the necklace.
Oh, like he's got an extra necklace. Say like 25 then. The history of the necklace.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was from this painting that... Excuse me, counsellor, now I think about it, are you sure you have read all the documents for this trial? Oh, and that's to him.
Yeah, and then we
like
flip
the
it.
only explanation is there are 2. there are three necklaces. So if she stole one, it's not the one over in here.
So now open envelope C.
So we know from the necklace found in the car was Macmillan's, and Sampath was just taking it back home. So we get rid of. We don't need the car anymore. Or that painting 25? Yeah. We don't need the car or the painting. And then open envelope C. So that's this stuff I've got here. So we've got Esther Port, head of the archaeological section at ArtLife and longtime collaborator with Gregory Starr, former owner of the first Starry Sky necklace. Broken window. This was the second time the window of the studio had been broken. About a month ago, Mr. Starr spotted the break-in, but it was established that no one had entered the house. Mr. Starr reacted with some discomfort, but in the end he merely replaced the glass. Sales register for August. In this ledger, Gregory Starr noted the sales of the jewellery he kept at home. He took care of everything himself, from bargaining to shipping. If we can get anything from that.
Not yet.
Not port or anything. There's something crossed out for $300. Randy Macmillan, gemologist and winemaker, friend and collaborator of Gregory Starr, former owner of the second Starry Sky necklace. The life of Gregory Starr. Gregory Starr had been a steady contributor to the archaeological section at ArtLife. He made his fortune through unscrupulous trading of ancient jewellery, but in recent years his reputation had been declining due to his increasingly excessive and extravagant behaviour. The discovery of the third Starry Sky necklace brought him back into the limelight once again. Detail of the crime scene. That glass is on top of the chalk outline.
Broken after.
Has it been broken after it? Oh, we get to flip another juror, thank you. The butler. Wait a minute, what advice have we been given about the butler?
The kind butler always hides something.
Mr. Alfred Trey, Mr. Starr's employee for more than 20 years. Death report for Gregory Starr. His death occurred on August the 19th. It's 11:15 p.m. as per the testimonies. The autopsy confirms the time of death caused by a single close-range stab wound to the chest. Death was practically instantaneous. Deposition of the butler after the dinner. After dinner, Mr. Starr asked everyone to join him in his study because he wanted to show them how the glossy enamel used during the restoration work made the necklace glow in starlight alone. Macmillan preceded Mrs. Port and Mrs. Sampath, who closed the door behind them. Starr seated his guests in the dark. Okay.
What a strange thing to do.
He wanted to show it was glowing.
The idea of a dinner meeting of all the former owners of the Starry Sky necklaces came from Mrs. Sampath herself. Reconstructing the entire collection was her obsession. She hoped that Mr. Macmillan and Mrs. Port could persuade Gregory Starr to sell his necklace. Mr. Starr, however, refused to give in to her pressure, which led to her despair. With the goodwill of the defence, Mrs. Sampath is the only person who is intent on wresting Starr's necklace. Oh, disdain won't give me a break until I find another threat to the necklace.
So,
Well, surely somebody would steal it. He's taken out insurance. Although I don't know what...
I mean, Esther used to have one. Randy used to have one. They don't have one anymore. I wouldn't necessarily say the butler, but Mrs. Port was there. I know they were both there.
Well, maybe he knew there was a threat. The threat is that somebody might steal it so we could get insurance. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Why would he suddenly take out insurance on it?
March,
On March
17th,
the 17th.
just after it was authenticated.
Yeah.
I suppose you would. It's worth millions. It's not. Oh, what about
This is the second time that the window had been smashed. There'd been a break-in.
The window's been smashed before. Do you think we say that? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Excellent, counsellor. Disdain would like to only talk about me. We need to try to widen the field to other possible culprits because the window's been smashed before. Someone else becomes innocent. And then we read the back of the card. Nearly everyone's thinking innocent. Do we just win then?
We have to wait till the end.
Yeah, we've got to get to the end, I think.
I bring this fact to your attention, prosecutor. Starr's butler informed us about a broken window about a month before the crime, when Mrs. Sampath had not yet arrived in the United States. Someone attempted to break into Starr's study, where the necklace was kept, to steal it. Counsellor, it's obvious that others might be interested in the necklace. However, you cannot deny the strong interest bordering on obsession that Mrs. Sampath had for it. As I've already mentioned, we must focus on the individuals present that evening to find the culprit. Your words don't entirely convince me, Prosecutor Disdain. Why limit the assumptions to those present that evening? Maybe even... Counsel, stop wasting the time of this court. Mrs. Sampath was literally found with Starr's blood on her hands. My client cannot be the only suspect. Perhaps someone intervened from outside the room. Don't know, is that when you say the crime scene has got the glass on the... Because when was that glass broken if they're saying it happened at the dinner? Don't know.
What about the butler? Could have intervened from outside. So everyone was in the room, right? Sampath, Port Macmillan, and Starr were all in the room. No, we're in the study. Yeah, wanted to join the study. They closed the door behind them. Starr seated his guests in the dark. So where was the butler?
Okay, so...
Do you think that's a reasonable...
Would you do 34, though, because that's that document?
Well, perhaps someone intervened from outside the room.
Okay, so
say it's the butler. Because everyone else was inside the room, weren't they?
Yeah.
No. We're not there yet, but I'm sure I've grasped the point to insist on. To enter a room locked from the inside requires forcing the entrances or breaking them. Among the clues, there must be one that shows traces of this violent action. Okay, you're right.
Broken window.
But it said someone intervened from outside the room.
Maybe they locked because they locked the door from the inside. He couldn't open it, so then had to run around and break the window.
Okay, so we're just saying that because there was glass. This is the turning point of our case. I feel it. Flip someone back to innocence. So we lost one, but we got him back. ARH.
Prosecutor Disdain, take a look at the photo of the crime scene. Pay particular attention to the floor tiles. Notice how many shards of glass have fallen from the still closed window. In the confusion, someone must have hit the window. No, prosecutor. If someone among those present had broken the window, the impact would have caused the shards to fall mostly outside, not inside the room. The window was broken from the outside. So
we've discarded that picture and our boss.
Oh, weird.
And then we open envelope D. So we have the murder weapon. The killer likely used the napkin to avoid getting blood on themselves or leaving fingerprints. The crime scene. There's a layout for you. The deposition of Randy Macmillan. Gregory asked us to wait in the study with the lights off. I believe he had just opened the safe when the window was broken and Gregory screamed. That's the murdered guy. There were sounds of a struggle. I didn't know what to do. It was too dark to see clearly. When Esther found the switch, we saw Harumi Sampath leaning over Gregory, who was dead. Deposition of Harumi Sampath. I had just closed the door when I heard a strange hissing sound like something quickly screeching, and then glass breaking and a noise, maybe of a struggle. Starr yelled and I got scared, but when I heard the thud of a body falling to the ground, I felt compelled to move. In the darkness, crouched down, I made my way towards Gregory with some difficulty. When they turned on the lights, I was leaning over him, my hands stained with his blood, but I was just trying to help. There's a crate of wine. There's the safe. Deposition of Esther Port. Shortly after we entered the room, I heard in quick sequence the window shatter, Gregory shouting, and then some commotion. I may be mistaken, but I believe he said thief. At that point, panic took over and I began searching for the light switch. However, I had never been in the room before and it took me some time to find it. When the lights came on, Mrs. Sampath appeared to be crouched over Gregory's lifeless body. Didn't he get stabbed in the chest? Would he be able to shout out?
Well, maybe he shouted at the window and then got
Maybe.
stabbed.
She doesn't mention the screeching. Something quickly screeching, then glass shattering. She just says the window shatter, then he started shouting.
Well, he said the windows was broken, then Gregory screamed, then there was a struggle.
Yeah. So Hiruni is the only person mentioning this screeching. Whatever that is. Star's desk. There's some kind of elephant on there. With like a wire coming off it. A wired elephant. Okay. Where's this going?
Let's stick to the facts, Councillor. As you said yourself, the window was found still closed. The glass is broken, but certainly not in a way that would allow a person to pass through. A small gap would have been enough to throw a knife. No, the wound is not consistent with a throwing action. Gregory Starr's killer was in the room with him, waiting for the right moment to strike. The simplest explanation is this. Taking advantage of the darkness in the room, Mrs. Sampath moved toward the direction from which Starr's voice came and plunged the knife into his body. Oh yeah, the elephant in the room.
So we need an objection. Move to the direction from which Mr. Starr's voice came. He didn't say anything before.
There was a struggle and then he yelled.
Yeah, the glass broke. Before, like, his sounds were of struggling or something, weren't they?
Well, them two said that he shouted, then there was a commotion. Well, where's the layout of the room? So we have to prove that...
Like, oh, so
we have to prove that he says she moved in the direction from which Starr's voice came.
Well, she
towards his voice and plunged the knife into his body, but she said she was at the door. She was last to enter.
She would have walked straight into the desk or this chair or something.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have been able to walk to him. Shall we present this?
Yeah.
As evidence? You don't sound sure.
Well, it might be a deposition.
Oh.
I don't know.
I just closed the door. No. I don't understand what you mean. If there's anything that could prevent Sampath from reaching Starr, that thing was in the crime scene room. If you want to be taken seriously, you'll have to be more specific.
Right, more specific.
Phoenix Wright does this as well. You haven't said the right thing yet.
Okay, so was his desk in the way?
Yeah, say the desk. She would have had to climb over the desk. Oh, do not flip any juror. I just flipped one. You claim that the path was blocked by his desk. Perhaps you haven't carefully listened to the words of your own client, Councillor. When the window glass was broken, Mrs. Sampath had just closed the door. From the corner where she started, the desk didn't block that much the path to Mr. Starr. I've got to flip two. I already flipped one.
I would say that the desk is in the... What is in the way then?
What is that? It's like a computer or... Is it the crate of wine?
Oh, it's the crate of wine.
It's the crate of wine.
We're not looking close. You can see... You can't
yeah,
really
you can.
see
You can. Out of the things we've got in front of us, you can see it's a crate of wine. You're right, Councillor, but we're back on the defensive. You must attack as soon as you can. My innocence depends on it. Flip one juror back to innocent.
We didn't look close enough. You can see there's 4 bottles in it.
I thought it was a chair with a laptop on it. I was like, we haven't got a chair with a laptop card. Right.
I must contradict you, Mr. Prosecutor. You must consider the situation. Not only was it dark, but Mrs. Sampath had never seen the room before. If she, having just entered the room, had headed quickly towards Mr. Starr's voice, perhaps she might have managed to avoid the desk. But surely she would have tripped over the crate of wine placed on the floor. It is clear from the testimony that only a few seconds passed before the scream. Mrs. Sampath would not have been able to reach Starr so quickly. Once again, counsellor, you overlook the facts. Well, we didn't then, because
we found the facts
got
eventually.
some support. You claim that it was not possible for Sampath to react so quickly in the dark, but the same applies to the others. None of those present knew that Starr would turn off the light, or that the window would be broken. Yet Starr was murdered, so perhaps it was not so impossible to get close to him. By luck or agility, Mrs. Sampath was able to get to him and hit him. With this reconstruction, I am sure I have clarified everything that happened in the dark moments. Objection, Your Honour! There must be something missing from this reconstruction.
What is missing from the reconstruction? I suppose where the knife came from.
Well, I mean, it's a kitchen knife.
I mean, nobody's mentioned the elephant in the reconstruction yet. Single close range stab wound.
Well, where did the knife come from? Is it silly to say, ooh, where's the knife from?
I mean, why is the safe open?
Yeah.
Oh, because he would have taken the necklace out of the safe probably.
That quickly?
No, to show them. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not weird that the safe was open. But maybe it's the key to everything.
We do have the murder weapon.
Yeah, we have the murder weapon, but like
But where did it come
they've
from?
apparently used the napkin to stop any fingerprints.
Do we say where did this come from? Like agility wise, she's running across the room and leaping over the wine crate with a knife in her hand.
Yeah, I'd like to know where the knife and the napkin and everything came from. But I suppose like they could just say she had that in her hand beforehand.
Well, they would have seen it.
I suppose, yeah. Where would she hide a great big knife? Nope. I'm desperate. Disdain is putting me on the ropes. There must be something that has not yet been explained. I need to reread all the latest documents and look for a detail that is still missing from the reconstruction. Flip someone to guilty. We're stumbling and bumbling reach.
So he's saying that he's just opened the safe when the window was broken. Maybe we do need to click on the safe. When Esther found the switch, but he's saying that he had time to open the safe. So the safe, he's opened the safe in the door.
Do you think her thing when she says screeching?
Maybe.
Yes. Actually, I don't quite understand where you're going with this, counsellor, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We get them back. And that's the thing that stuck out in my mind when we first read it, that no one else said screeching.
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I believe that Disdain's reconstruction is missing a crucial detail, namely the hiss heard by Mrs. Sampath before the window broke. Counsellor, you are clinging to trivialities. Not at all, prosecutor. To reach the truth, we must leave nothing unexplained. Counsellor, you are bluffing. What does this hiss have to do with the murder? Face your defeat like a true professional and don't waste the court's time with your delusions. It's not necessarily that the hiss is directly related to the murder, but it could explain a particular behaviour. First, we need to understand what produced the noise. Did the safe? You think it's the crazy elephant?
Screeching? I wouldn't describe an elephant as screeching, but maybe this does.
Okay.
I want it to be this more than anything. So what number's that? 36. We're on card number 9, right? Yep. Yes! Such a messy desk is a sign of an equally disordered mind. I think I understand your point, counsellor. Flip you. Come back. Flip you.
That noise was produced by this wire attached to this paperweight. Imagine securing the paperweight outside the window and passing the wire over the top crossbar of the window, making sure it can slide. Now picture giving it a little sudden tug. The paperweight would detach from its housing and hit the window, breaking it from the outside. Immediately afterwards, it could be retrieved and put back in its place on the desk. This was the hissing sound perceived by Haruni Sampath, the noise of the wire rubbing against the window frame.
Exactly what I said.
How has he come up with that little plan of what to do with a paperweight on a desk through a window just by looking at that picture?
That is the kind of thing Phoenix Wright has to pull out of
This
thin
is
air.
what I say happened exactly. They tied a little rope to this paperweight, put it through the top of the window, then pulled on it.
That is exactly the kind of thing that happens in Phoenix Wright, though.
Yeah.
He says something insane and it turns out that's exactly what happened.
Counsellor, I can't believe the audacity of your claims. They are assertions that leave a trace, though. We have a photo of the outside of the window. Doesn't it look like there's a tape mark on the underside of the upstairs balcony? Oh, it does.
There is?
Clever. Damn. Fine, let's assume that you are right, and that someone wanted us to believe that a person from the inside had broken the glass. What reason would there be to stage such a mechanism?
Why would they break the glass?
So that he turns away from the safe? Don't know.
Just to steal the necklace, I would imagine, or... to get the knife in? I don't... But wouldn't Star have had to pull that?
Well, Star hasn't pulled it, has he? It's the murderer's pulled it.
Okay.
The murderer has pulled it, startled the guy, Gregory Starr, and then stabbed him.
What are we being asked?
Why
would they
you
stage this
such
mechanism?
A mechanism?
I don't know. Hi, Jose, how's it going? You have made it. We're in the middle of a mystery. He says he just opened the safe. She says, shortly after we enter the room, the window shattered. Gregory shouts in some commotion. He said thief. I don't know, Rach. What shall we present?
I don't know. Is it to get him to come away from the safe so they can steal the necklace? I don't know. I don't know, because who stabbed him?
I'll say safe, and it might give us a clue as to what the right thing is. I'm so close. I believe with the window broken from the outside, someone was trying to simulate a theft. There must be a strong motive to do something like that. The insurance document, yeah.
Well, I did think that, but...
Bro, can you flip 2 jurors, Rach? We've lost 2 of them with that blunder.
Well, we'll get some back, won't we?
Of course, this truth overturns the entire trial and its foundations. My head spins just thinking about it. Flip 1 back.
This trick served to make us believe that the disappearance of the necklace was due to theft. I fear that the motivation is one that too often drives human beings: money. Specifically, in detail, the money Gregory would have gained through the insurance claim for the theft of his necklace. Believe me, my voice trembles as I say it, but I am certain that it's the case. Gregory staged the theft of the necklace. No one else could have orchestrated the trick.
That's what I was saying. He's stood over there
That's
in the
true,
dock, pulling the wire himself.
Backfired because someone has stabbed him. Counsellor, what you say has now entered absurd territory. Even assuming that what you asserted actually happened, putting such a plan into action has high risks. Would the paperweight have held up until the appropriate moment? Would it have managed to pick up enough speed to break the glass? How would Gregory have so much confidence in the success of the trick? Damn, he's right. Gregory Starr loved taking risks, but he was certainly not a fool. Somehow he knew the trick would work.
Because he has
He's
tested
tried it before.
The window has been broken before. About a month ago. You know, I hadn't thought about it, but you're really good, aren't you? Oh, sorry. Maybe it's not nice to seem so surprised. Flip someone to innocence.
Certainly it was a risky plan. Gregory Starr was a very meticulous person, and he would hardly leave his fortunes to mere chance. In fact, Gregory Starr has already attempted this trick in the past. Or perhaps you have forgotten about the broken window in his study found a month before the crime. Didn't it strike you as odd that his reaction to a broken window in the room, where he kept all his jewels, was so calm? Impressive, Counsellor. Now we begin to get serious.
Phoenix would be slapping the piece of paper as he would be saying all of this stuff.
I don't understand, Disdain. What are you reading? Before the trial, I met with Prosecutor Maxwell for an exchange of views. I have her advice here. What? Who is this Prosecutor Maxwell? She's one of the best. Let me see. Ah, here it is. In this situation, she recommends asking this question. Where is Starr's necklace now? We know it was last seen at Starr's mansion on August 15th during a party. We also know that Starr did not leave his house in the following days. The police searched the entire mansion after the murder, but they didn't find it. If the necklace wasn't stolen, how did Starr get rid of it?
The crate of wine?
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing that springs to mind. And there's 2 bottles missing out of that crate of wine.
It does say check the wines for presence of poisons.
Let me turn that back on then. Nope. The crate of wine was delivered from outside. Instead, you would promise to tell me a way in which Starr could have gotten rid of the necklace. In short, this evidence says about the opposite of what you were trying to demonstrate. 2 jurors on guilty. Okay.
What day was this for? What day are we looking for?
He was murdered on the
15th.
No, it was the 19th, wasn't it? He was murdered on the 19th.
Yeah,
Do you
but
think
he's saying that...
he sold it to this woman?
Yeah, but because it says... He had a party and they saw it on the 15th.
He didn't leave his house.
Between the 15th and the 19th, he got rid of it somehow. So how did he get rid of it?
All of these people that he's been meeting with since the 15th. He took care of everything himself, from bargaining to shipping. He sent it to somebody that's bought it, and then he's claiming that it's been stolen.
Yeah, pop in this number then 9.
The more we reconstruct the actions of the unpleasant person Starr was, the closer we get to the truth. One person's back on our side. Didn't we flip 2 to bad time? Did you not flip
When?
any? When we got it wrong the first time. So
don't
just
know.
flip one. It was 2 for being wrong, and then
Okay.
1 back for being right.
Even if Starr did not leave his villa, the shipments he prepared did. It seems even those notes can't help you. Perfect. You answered exactly as Prosecutor Maxwell predicted. You hit a dead end, Counsellor. At first, the defence of Mrs. Sampath was based on the fact that if she had committed the crime, we would have found the necklace in her possession. Then you moved on to speculate about the intervention of an outside person. Now, thanks to your own reconstruction, both these objections fall. My reconstruction, on the other hand, has not been affected. The fact that Mrs. Sampath may have killed Gregory Starr is still the most probable reconstruction. What?
Very Phoenix right. I wonder if I'm thinking of Edgeworth slapping the papers, not Phoenix
Yeah.
right. Maybe they both do it. So we need to discard 8, 8, 12, 13, 15, 34, 55, 35. What have you got there? So number 8,
34.
broken window. 12,
Crime scene.
13, 15, 34, 35. Go on. Hi, Steph. How's it going? Open envelope E. We are fairly far through the story. You might want to skip back if you don't want to be spoiled on it. There is a there's a murder trial going on. So in the final envelope, we have a newspaper article about a necklace sale. Yesterday, Randy McMillan held a farewell party in honour of his necklace at home, the Daffodil Mansion. In fact, the well-known gemologist had sold his exemplar of the Starry Sky necklaces to Hiruni Sampath. The price twice as much as the sale of the first piece many years ago. The only obstacle to Sampath's dream of gathering all 3 necklaces remains the grumpy Gregory Starr. Magazine article. Necklace exhibition. So that was the 18th, so the day before the murder. On the 16th, necklace exhibition, private party. For better or worse, as long as they talk about me, seems to be Starr's motto, who yesterday, in an arrogant display of joy, mocked the sales agreement between Macmillan and Sampath by organising a grand social evening where he showed off his own copy of the Starry Sky necklace. Very little respect was given to the important jewellery. It was even carelessly doused with champagne during Starr's toast. Deposition of the butler before dinner. Before dinner, Macmillan and Starr stepped aside into the study for a short private conversation. By chance, I passed nearby and overheard them arguing fervently. I believe they were talking about the necklace because Starr concluded the conversation by telling Macmillan he would not change his mind. Emails between Esther Port and Gregory Starr. So this is from Port to Gregory. Gregory, I don't know how you managed to import the 3rd necklace without getting caught by Sri Lanka's customs, but your behaviour is becoming a big image problem for art life. This is back in March. You're overreacting. You're just jealous. You sold your necklace last year before the set was complete at a much lower price. Now they are worth much more. What if they haven't got the 3rd one and they're just lying?
What was he dousing in champagne then?
That they've just got Randy McMillan's.
Of who?
That Randy McMillan had one, definitely.
Yeah, and Sampath bought it.
Oh yeah. Let's see what is happening.
Is this the logical power of Prosecutor Maxwell? Sadly, she's right. Everything I've said so far does not exonerate Sampath for the murder. It's not fair. I have no one to help me. I only have this list that I wrote myself, and it's useless. Wait. Maybe one of these tips could really help me.
So back to the tips. There is always a more recent will somewhere. Maybe that's the tip. The kind butler always hides something. Never forget to check the wines for the presence of poisons. If someone has an identical twin, rest assured there has been a switch at some point. Maybe it's that one. The necklaces have been switched. Often the solution to the crime lies in our pockets. Diamonds, when examined, often turn out to be worthless copies. Maybe it's that. So it's either a more recent will, but I don't know about that. We have been given a will and testament.
Well, we've been given everything that's on that list, and we've got to choose which one we think is going to help us. Everything on that thing we could do.
I'm thinking the identical twin might refer to like a copy of the necklace. So 1, 4, or 6.
Do 4 then, if you think it's identical
Would you
twin.
think it's diamonds when examined often turn out to be worthless copies? There's no diamonds in it though. Do you think 4?
Mm-hmm.
And hey, do you mean to say that? I can't believe it. I really can't believe it.
Bit sus. Maybe Macmillan was working with him. What if the third necklace was never found? Councillor, what are you rambling on about? Members of the jury, it can't be any other way. It's like in detective novels. If there's an identical twin, rest assured there has been a switch at some point. And in this case, there are 3 identical twins, the Starry Sky necklaces. We all know how the ambitious restoration work initiated by Star made the necklaces indistinguishable from each other. Anyone who saw one couldn't tell if it was the third or one of the previous ones. But what are you saying, Councillor? For what reason would Star have pretended to discover the third necklace? To regain what Star valued most, the spotlight. But he wasn't the only one interested. Star had an accomplice. Even if we consider the stage theft to give the impression that a thief had entered from outside, an accomplice would have been useful. Yeah, but who? Perhaps there is someone else who would gain from the fake discovery of the third necklace. Well,
The insurance policy that you'd get millions if it's stolen.
yeah, but who? We want to say a person. Well, Randy
Macmillan, 'cause he sold.
Randy Macmillan lives at the Daffodil Mansion, and if you look at his ledger,
Oh, it's been sold to the Daffodil.
Something's gone on with the Daffodil Villa. So he's seen somebody from the Daffodil Villa during the time when the necklace was last seen and he was killed.
So we're saying Randy Macmillan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, make the browser come up. Him. But he was so kind to me. He even helped me organise the dinner. It's always tough when people disappoint you. Flip a juror.
Randy Macmillan. Mrs. Sampath was forced to increase her offer to buy the necklace precisely because the artifact now belonged to a complete collection. I can't believe this. Let me remind you that the third necklace was certified by Esther Port. Would she also be an accomplice? Mrs. Port was probably not aware of this. She was given a necklace to certify for Macmillan, and all she could do was note that it was authentic. After that, the necklace was sent to Mr. Starr, hidden among the bottles for display during the party on August 16th. Starr sent it back on August 17th, addressing it to Villa Daffodil, aka the mansion owned by Macmillan. The illusion of a third necklace is complete. So you would have us believe that Gregory Starr was planning to execute 2 different scams. First, one to increase the value of Macmillan's necklace, his accomplice, and then a second one to fake the theft of the non-existent third necklace? Exactly. Prosecutor Disdain, allow me to complete the argument. It is true that Mr. Starr had planned 2 scams with Mr. Macmillan, but he was the only one who stood to gain from the simulated theft. Now I just have to prove that Macmillan had no intention of taking this risk at all.
What do we have that says Macmillan didn't want to take the risk at all?
Well, the butler heard him say something.
Oh yeah? What did he say? Oh yeah, saying he would not change his mind.
They were arguing.
We've got it, we've got it. Councillor, go ahead with your closing arguments. Flip a juror to innocence. Here we go.
Before dinner, Macmillan and Starr argued, and the latter said he wouldn't change his mind. They weren't talking about the impossible sale of a non-existent necklace. Macmillan was objecting to the staged theft. If something went wrong, subsequent investigations could have uncovered the truth and exposed Macmillan. He decided to intervene. After the clever trick broke the window, Macmillan already knew what would happen and how he could reach Starr. When Starr moved to put the paperweight back on the desk and remove the string, Macmillan was there waiting, armed with a knife, and struck him. This is the only reconstruction that explains with certainty what happened in the darkness of that room. This was not foreseen, not even by Prosecutor Maxwell. I don't know what to say. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, what the defence counsel has reconstructed is nothing but an extraordinary fantasy. There's no evidence of this hypothetical scam organised by Starr and me. This is not possible. There must be something to prove Mr. Macmillan's guilt. I have to prove that the necklace that was found in Mrs. Sampath's car is the same one that Mr. Starr had shown at the party.
So the necklace in the car is the same one that he'd shown.
I mean, is it that the fact that when they certified the third necklace, its restoration was the same as the previous restoration?
Yeah, there's got to be something to it there. So that he doused it with champagne in his toast and stuff. Proves that the necklace in the car is the same one he showed at the party.
Because this is all authenticated on March 15th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's after the party, isn't it?
It would have a load of champagne on it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So 216 then.
Correct. Incredible, you did it. I'm saved.
We can't flip a jury. Take a look at this magazine. During the party at which Starr exhibited the necklace, Starr handled the necklace with his bare hands and even spilled champagne on it. If Starr's necklace, as I claim, is the same necklace that was later sold to Mrs. Sampath, then by analysing the latter we will find evidence of these facts. Touching such a jewel with your bare hands, corroding the gold with alcohol, that's bloody Starr. He never had any respect for jewellery. He thought he was a genius, but he was nothing but a profiteer and a criminal. I could hardly go through life with the thought that he might blackmail me from one day to the next. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, understand me. I was forced to take him out. Do you understand? I was forced.
Revelations.
We've broken him. I can't believe it. I did it. It seemed impossible, but I did it. An ancient poet wrote, like a bee that has seen the blooming lotus, my bewildered heart found solace. Thank you, counsellor. I admit at first I was a little worried that Moustakas wasn't here, but you did a great job. Ah, right. I'll have to explain what happened to Mr. Moustakas. Well, considering the results, he can't scold me too much in the end, right? Da-da-da-da-da-da. You shed light on the case and successfully defended your client, Haruni Sampath. Congratulations. Not guilty. It's time to see how you did. On the next card, you'll find a table. You compare your number of jurors to the table. Well, we have got all of them in our favour.
So that means
you beat Disdain in an exemplary way. So in love with the sound of his own voice, the poor prosecutor closes the process without being able to pronounce a single word. So, you got beat by a rookie, Prosecutor Disdain. This is Maxwell, look. Prosecutor Maxwell, apparently we were wrong about the Starr case, and Moustakas' assistant was definitely surprising. You made the mistake, Prosecutor. I just gave you a few pointers. This defeat is your own doing. Anyway, I can't wait to meet this assistant. I haven't had a proper challenge in a while. To be continued in the next case.
In the next case... There we go. As far as we know, I'll play it again. There is something on here. There's the final exam on the main page. So I assume that's the next...
Maybe you go up against Maxwell.
Case. Yeah, you must have to as you go along. The stuff page takes you just to the rules. It is currently out of stock on the publisher's website. So there we go. That's Until Proven Guilty. It's nice. I enjoyed that. It's just like a one-off thing. You're probably never going to forget that, are you? And like the scoring in all of these like exit games and everything is
Mm.
strange, isn't it? Because we've always thought that like back to the first exit and unlocks that fair enough that you're giving us a rating, but it doesn't mean we're never going to do it again. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, generally, like we made up for the few failures along the way, and there was a couple of nice little Phoenix Wright style jumps in logic with the. But you could see like there's a strange string coming off this weird elephant that's just out of place, out of nowhere. That's cool, isn't it? I can't remember how much it was. It just said on the website, didn't it? I think it was about €15 or something. In
Yeah,
essence,
16.90.
16.90 off the publisher's website. Euros. Was that about £14, something like that?
Yeah.
And like you don't. All you're doing is opening. You're not even tearing seals or anything. These are all tucked in. So like you can completely reset this and give it to someone else to play or sell it or something. Like it's like any of the that's what we used to do with the unlocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back in the day, after you'd
Even
finished
when
with
it was
them,
like
give it
fold
someone
or
else.
cut this thing,
Yeah,
we would never cut.
That kind of ended up spoiling some of the exits that we had to go to elaborate lengths to not destroy the
we didn't
bits.
get into the spirit. We couldn't bear to snip
I'm
something.
not cutting bits up. But yeah, you get one case in it. It would be nice to like. I suppose like it's more attractive to someone to just buy like an individual box for not a lot of money and give it a go. But it would be nice if kind of detective season 1 style. You know, when they did the new detective box that had shorter cases, but it was like €30 or something like that, and had several in. It would be nice to have that
This
like
jury box is quite nice.
yeah, that's very cool. But like they're gonna have to keep making that with punch boxes every time.
For every box.
Or are the future ones just going to be like a little pack of just the cards and the envelopes? You know what I mean? Like a smaller one
then
that
you've
you
got to have
get.
the base.
Yeah.
Base
It's
game.
strange, isn't it? Because I don't imagine it would add a ton of cost, but it's got to be adding some to do this every time. But I don't know.
Yeah,
there we go. This is their first like launch into it. I don't think. Like, would it be an upcoming releases? It's not in upcoming releases yet. Games for all section. I'm just looking on the website. You can't see right now. What about all games? You're showing me all games in the bang system. Nothing yet in their news section or anything. I haven't had a email, and this is technically just cut like it in Europe. It came out at Essen. In America, it's saying Q4, so it might have only just made it there. So like, you would imagine with them being like small cases, you'd imagine they're gonna have to be more often than a year, right? It seems slow to be doing them in a year. But just like it says on the box, like 45 to 90 minutes, then 75 to 90 minutes.
Depends how good you are at finding evidence.
It's probably like if it's anything like Phoenix Wright, it'd be a little bit easier to get you started as well. Like saying you're just against that disdain. That's the way that Phoenix Wright did it anyway. You're against someone kind of completely inept in the first case, and then you were against someone formidable later on. But yeah, I enjoyed that. Good. I'd give the next one a go. But there we go. That is Until Proven Guilty. It's gone a little bit quicker. We gave it potentially 2 hours just in case it went on a little bit longer than the time said. But yeah, it took us about an hour-ish. And that is it. This is probably, like, something may change. We're not sure of the circumstances of the next couple of weeks. There's probably a lot of people on with where we're going to be and who's going to be here and stuff. But this might be the last stream of the year. There'll be one fairly early into next year with the anticipated games of next year.
There might be one before.
There could be. Like, say, there might be something around. We did a New Year one, like, I don't think last year, but the year before. We did, like, a Choose Your Own Adventure at some point, didn't we? And we did I remember us doing the app of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain at one point, and we did, like, a 2-day stream where we just got lost. Do you remember that when we got like lost in a maze repeatedly in that book and it kind of spoiled it for us? There might be something around New Year's, but if not, like happy Christmas everyone, happy holidays, happy New Year, all of those things. There's going to be pre-recorded ones. There's several playthroughs in the pipeline. They're going to be coming up on Patreon and then later on the channel.
And
There's going to be
10.
the top 10 games next week on Christmas Eve as usual. There's still stuff coming up, but in terms of live, there's not going to be any for a bit anyway. I don't know how long a bit's going to be, but there's plenty of pre-recorded stuff to keep you going. There's Freedom 5, there's the new Cthulhu Death May Die, Fear of the Unknown. There's going to be some videos for that, and there's going to be something for Metal Gear Solid. I'm very excited about. Although it's tutorials to start off, but you got to start somewhere, right? On Shadow Moses is Solid Snake. There's a little tease of him. Look at him, he's right there. He's got a little cardboard box. He's the only one painted, though. I haven't done Meryl or anyone yet. So thanks everyone for being here. Thanks Rach for doing a stream and doing all that narration on your birthday.
Yeah.
You're going to have a birthday meal soon, aren't you?
Yeah.
Going out for a birthday meal. So yes, thank you everyone. Have a lovely Christmas holiday time, and I'll see you in pre-recorded form in the meantime, but it's not going to be long until we're live again, is it? Time goes like that, doesn't it? Thank you everyone. You can support the channel on Patreon. So I'm able to do any of this stuff. It's not a sponsored stream.
Or do a little Kofi.
Oh yeah, there's Kofi as well by Rach. Whichever one you would prefer. Thank you everyone that could do that and keeping us going for this year and stuff. And yeah, have lovely times everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.